How's it going, everyone? Fever Gaming here. In today's video, I'm bringing you the top 10 hardest Pokemon to get in Pokemon Go. This list includes the Pokemons that are really difficult to catch in Pokemon Go. This does not include the legendary Pokemon, so Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Mew, Mewtwo. Those Pokemons are not going to be included in this list because that's something I want to do in a different list of like the legendary Pokemon and all that stuff, because I want to go a little bit more in depth in that. But this is essentially the original 150 Pokemon, not including the legendary, and the difficulty trying to catch them. So number 10, we have Onix, a rock/ground Pokemon that looks like a rock snake and is known to be rock signature Pokemon in the original game. So Onix, I've seen a couple of instances where people have been able to catch it, but it's very difficult to catch. So you have to remember that based off the terrain where you're at, it actually depends on where you can catch that Pokemon. For example, Onix would be more difficult to catch in water, but more easier to catch in mountains and rock terrains. With that being said, I've not been able to actually catch an Onix based off how hard it is to get as is, and I've seen a couple of my friends have been able to successfully catch one and see one, but it still remains one hard Pokemon to get. At number 9, we have Gyarados, a water/dragon Pokemon, and again, the difficulty to catch this Pokemon is a million times a million. So you can only catch a Gyarados in water bodies, so that'd be maybe in a lake, a river, an ocean, that sort of thing. That's the only legitimate places where a Gyarados would be hella easier to catch. And as of right now, you need 400 Magikarps to actually get to evolve into a Gyarados. And even Magikarps are very difficult to even catch, because I've been at rivers and lakes and stuff like that, and I maybe caught like 1 or 2 Magikarps. So you need 400 to actually evolve to get a Gyarados. I haven't seen any people within my area to actually have a Gyarados, and let alone claim as their own gym leader, but it's a difficult Pokemon to say the least. At number 8, we have Chelsie, a normal type Pokemon that keeps an egg in her pouch at all times. So this is a weird Pokemon, because based off the egg, I almost assume that if you were to actually catch a Pokemon, because she's always carrying an egg in her pouch, does that mean you can also keep that egg similar to what the other Pokemon eggs you have, and obviously, you walk and hatch it? That'd be kind of cool if you can catch a Chansey and then keep her egg, and then, just hatch it until it evolves into a Pokemon, whatever it may be. But Chanseys are very difficult to catch. I know in the original games they had a high HP, so I could assume that in this game the CP would be off the roof. At number 7, we have Aerodactyl, a rock/flying Pokemon. And so Aerodactyl is one of those hard Pokemon to actually get. It's a fossil Pokemon, so the distinction between Aerodactyl and other Pokemon is it's a fossil Pokemon. And those Pokemons are very difficult to catch. I think in the original games you had to have a fossil, which then you give it to a professor or someone in the game, and they were able to kind of construct it and evolve it, and then you were able to keep it. I don't remember exactly, but Aerodactyl is one of those hard kind of legendary Pokemons that if you were ever to catch it, it'd be like kind of an amazing thing to do and kind of show off. At number 6, we have Jinx, a psychic/ice Pokemon, and this Pokemon is one of those weird Pokemon. So Jinx is one of those weird looking Pokemons. It kind of resembles Nicki Minaj in a sense, but so Jinx is a very difficult Pokemon to catch. I have not seen a report of Jinx, anyone catching Jinx. I've been looking at it. Maybe there is at a different region, but North America, I haven't seen that. And something that I currently found out, this is based off of Reddit, and it seemed that different continents have different specific Pokemons. So in North America it was Taurus, and then like Europe has their own Pokemon and stuff like that. It makes it easier to catch. And so maybe Jinx don't exist in North America. You'd have to maybe travel to a different continent and be able to actually catch that Pokemon. It's just a rumor. Who knows exactly if that's the case, because that would be kind of interesting. It would suck that you'd have to travel a distance and then be able to catch a Pokemon, unless they introduce the transfer Pokemon. So if you have a friend and say in New Zealand or something that they caught a Pokemon that you don't have here in North America, maybe you can go ahead and transfer those Pokemons, and maybe maybe increase your Pokédex and all that stuff. But as of right now, Jinx are very difficult to catch. At number 5, we have Snorlax, a sleeping Pokemon. Again, a very difficult Pokemon to not only get but to catch, because Snorlax has a high CP when you actually do encounter it, similar to the original games where you would to see a Snorlax had a high HP. Snorlax again is the same situation with that. You'll have to have Great Balls. You have to be in the higher levels to be able to actually catch it, so you'd have to give it some berries and stuff like that to have a higher chance to get it. Again, Snorlax, I feel it appears only when you level up, somewhere level 13, 14 I've been reporting to see. Very difficult Pokemon to catch, and a very difficult Pokemon to actually encounter. At number 4, we have Dragonite, a dragon/flying Pokemon, which is a final version of Dratini. And Dratinis are very difficult to catch as is, so let alone trying to catch a Dragonite by itself. The final evolution of it is going to be very very difficult to catch. Honestly, I saw maybe 2 or 3 Dragonites of people catching it and posting it on Facebook. I have not encountered a Dragonite as of yet. My assumption would be that they actually encountered a Dragonite and were able to catch it. But again, they were like level 13, 14, so you'd have to get a higher level to not only encounter it, but to be able to have a higher chance to actually catch it. I mean, you'll have to kind of give it incentives, like give it berries or something like that, so it'd be easier to catch. Dragonites are very powerful Pokemon, and it seems that a lot of people like to put them in their gym leaders as their starter Pokemons. It's either Snorlax or Dragonite, because I'm assuming they have a high CP, making it much more difficult to defeat. So at number 3, we have Tangela, a grass-type Pokemon, which is not stronger than Snorlax or Dragonite, but the difficulty of being able to encounter it and actually find it is very difficult. I have not seen a report case of anyone actually encountering a Tangela, let alone actually capture it. I used to always make fun of this Pokemon because like, oh, it looks like spaghetti, gross. I'm never going to catch it in the original Pokemon games because I didn't think much about it. Since this Pokemon is very difficult to encounter in Pokemon Go, it's like, I need this Pokemon just so I can say that I have it. Interesting how like the Pokemon that no one really cared about now are the hardest Pokemon to actually get in Pokemon Go. So at number 2, we have Porygon, a normal type Pokemon. Again, it's a first artificial Pokemon ever created in the first original games. And this Pokemon, I'm dedicated to try to catch because I've not seen it anywhere. I have not seen anyone actually catch it. Leave in the comment section below if you've encountered Porygon or if you actually caught it. That'd be kind of cool. And just let me know what the CP was. This is one of those Pokemons that I really want to get. I have not seen it. It's very difficult to catch. According to the Reddit, it's very difficult to actually, let alone encounter it, but actually capture it. So not the strongest Pokemon necessarily compared to Snorlax and Dragonite. Again, the difficulty of trying to actually find it is like up there. And at number 1, we have Pidgey. Just kidding, a Pidgey. The number 1 hardest Pokemon to get is a Ditto. So the cool thing about Ditto, it transforms into the opponent's Pokemon and essentially copies the moves and all that stuff. It's kind of a cool thing. It's a cool tactic within the original games. We can go ahead and transfer them. You know, it's easier to breed. Whenever they introduce that in Pokemon Go, we can go ahead and help evolve Pokemon and whatnot. But unfortunately, it's been very difficult to catch a Ditto. It's not the strongest Pokemon by any means. Again, it's one of those Pokemon that I remember encountering loads of times in the original games, and I just could care less about the Pokemon. But now that it's very difficult to catch in Pokemon Go, I'm like dedicating my life to try to see if I can catch it, just because of how rare it is, and so I can, go ahead and show off and tell you guys where to find it. So this concludes our top 10 rare Pokemon to catch in Pokemon Go. Make sure to leave a like and comment down below, out of the list that I mentioned, what Pokemons do you currently have or Pokemons you've encountered? Leave that in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.